Here we go again. What is up, fellow wanderers? It's kind of funny that here I am talking to y'all. Oh my gosh, all these years later. Look at me, packed to the brim. Such a familiar sight. And even right here, for those that followed my first running to, my original running to adventure, Mitzi. Mitzi is still here with me. I've got her emblem. I've got my ichthus. I'm ready to roll. Ready to roll in the juke. So a lot of y'all have been asking, what are you doing, Tom? Like, what's up with you? You quit your job? You're on the road? Did you leave Asheville? What's going on with you? And I'm here to bring clarity to the muddied waters of my life. Yes, I quit my job. The best job I've ever had, the greatest job of my life. Worked there for a year and a half, working with teenage boys in drug and alcohol recovery, and they taught me so much. I learned so much. I grew so much working at this nonprofit, and in one of the greatest cities, maybe the greatest city in America, Asheville. I could not have been more blessed for the last year and a half. Ultimately, I needed a change, as happens with my life, as happens with my soul. And I won't dive into all the specifics. Some of y'all who are closer to me, you know all the specifics, but in essence, I kind of felt like my life was coming to a head end of July, and here we are, beginning of August. And it made sense. It made sense on so many levels to quit my job, to hit the road, have some vacation time with some friends here in Denver, and then be let loose for a little bit of time. Unlike running 2, singular O, running 2, double O, has a defined deadline. It has a 6-week deadline. I will be back in Asheville by mid-September. I will be continuing to live in Asheville for the foreseeable future, and I couldn't be more ecstatic and more stoked to continue my life in the Blue Ridge, because I love those mountains. Hopefully, as these videos go on, especially here in the next week or so, or as I'm hanging around Denver, y'all will get to see the beautiful Rockies right behind me. Unfortunately, it's like raining right now, which is unfortunate. I wanted to do this intro video like high on a cliff somewhere. But alas, Mother Nature. Yeah, so running 2, double O, what is that about? You are probably asking. Ultimately, I landed on running 2 with a double O for a couple reasons. There's like a play on words as far as the also-ness of this road trip compared with the other road trip. On this road trip, one of my goals is to finish the book about the first road trip. I'm in the end stage of finishing this book up. I've been working on it for 2 years now, and gosh, you guys, I'm ready for it to be done. I'm ready for y'all to read it and criticize me about it and dig into it and just have it out of my life. It's been a burden I've carried for 2 years now, all these stories from the road, and I want to finish it, and I felt like it was only fitting, only poetic, to finish a book about the road while on the road. Another reason it's called Running 2 is because what I learned on the first road trip is that I'm not the only one running away from things and running toward new things, and it'll be evidenced in the book, but ultimately when I went from West Coast to East Coast, it became less about the places and more about the people, specifically the people that aren't that different from me. All my life I have assumed that I'm a black sheep and I'm so different and cut from a different cloth, and to a very legitimate extent I think I am, but what I learned the further I traveled and the more people I met, whether they were my readers or total strangers on Couchsurfing, I learned that we all share this life together, we all share this planet together, and we're all walking some really hard and difficult roads together. And running 2 is the concept that I'm on this road trip with the more clear mindset that I'm not alone in my life. I have other people who love me, I have other people who care about me, and I have other fellow humans who aren't all that different from me, whether they share my faith or not, whether they're my age or not, whether they're single, married or not. And I'm excited to meet a whole slew of new people that I now know today that I didn't even know 3 years ago when I first embarked on this road trip. So I'm stoked to reunite with some old faces and throw in a crop of new ones of other people who are also running 2 new, exciting, treacherous things in their lives. So you're probably wondering what my route's gonna be if I'm on the road for 6 weeks. I can't possibly do what I did last time. I can't go to all 48 contiguous states. I can't possibly go into Canada. But while this trip will not be nearly as massive in scope, I still hope to have a lot of fun, go to a lot of places, a lot of new places, and like I said, meet a lot of new people too. For the next week and a half, I will be in the Denver or Rocky Mountain area, And then from here, U-turning it and slowly working my way back east. I'll be heading to, here's a list of cities. So y'all, it's like a band revealing tour dates. Here you go. Heading to Kansas City, St. Louis, Nashville, Indianapolis, Louisville, as it's also known, Fort Wayne, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., Norfolk, Outer Banks, Charlotte, Raleigh, all the way back across North Carolina to Asheville. So it's kind of cool. This trip is very much, I feel like I have my route sort of lined up. There'll be room for fluctuation, sure. But unlike the last trip where it was kind of just like, well, there's a road and it goes that way, I'm going to just start going that way. I'm setting myself to a deadline, getting back to Asheville mid-September, and having a list of cities that make the most sense to connect the dots to and follow through. So if you live in any of those cities or you live within reach of those cities, I would love to meet you. I would love to grab coffee with you, grab dinner with you. If you have a couch for me to sleep on, I would gladly accept it. If it's on that route, I will gladly come and stay with you. And it'll be awesome to, again, do this all over again. I'm going to be seeing a lot of the same places, but it's going to be totally new. Rocky Mountain National Park, never been here. Hard to believe I never stopped here on my first trip. And so I'm looking forward to, honestly, just having this time to catch my breath, recharge. It's been a interesting couple years since the first running 2 ended. Now that I'm on the second running 2, it's time for a new chapter. And more will be revealed as the road unwinds. But for now, travel well, guys.